Joining our coverage, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, who serves on the Foreign Relations Committee. And Senator, good morning to you. I want to get into some of the issues in a moment, but first your reflections on this day, just as an American, sir.
Well, you know, I think a peaceful transformation of power is something that's incredibly important and something that's part of our heritage. So I think while I'm not excited about the transformation, it's peaceful, and I think that that's good for our country.
Yeah, when you think about the executive orders that are forthcoming, what do you see as perhaps the biggest change as you look at those?
Well, you know, we went in the direction of trying to get government out of the way of business, trying to encourage businesses to stay in America. And I think the opposite's going to happen. In fact, it's hard for me to believe anybody in the country would want the things that Biden is proposing. If we raise the corporate income tax here in America, companies will go overseas. That's what was happening. When we had the highest corporate income tax in the world, companies were regularly reincorporating in other places around the world to escape our taxes. So raising our taxes will cause corporations to flee. But if you mandate what the wages are, if you mandate a minimum wage of $15, it's not like everybody gets $15. The people who still have a job get $15, but many people will become unemployed. In fact, government statistics say almost 4 million people will lose their jobs if you mandate a $15 an hour job, minimum wage.
Senator, watching Michelle Obama and the former President Barack Obama now enter the east side of the Capitol. I don't know how much you've thought about the future of the Republican Party, but there was a comment that came in The Guardian from James Comey, former head of the FBI. I'm going to read it for you, sir. The Republican Party needs to be burned down or changed. Something is shifting, and I'm hoping it's the fault breaking apart. A break between the Trumpists and those people who want to try and build a responsible conservative party, because everybody should know that we need one. Who would want to be part of an organization that at its core is built on lies and racism and know-nothingism? Now, Senator, that's a lot. Have you heard that comment?
When we start taking advice from Comey, a notorious liar, a guy who ruined the FBI, a guy who used the enormous power of government to go after his political opponent, Donald Trump, I think when we start taking his advice, we're taking the wrong advice. And so I don't plan on listening to anything from Comey. In fact, I think Comey should be in prison for the things that he did.
It's a remarkable statement. Just as you're reading it, you take those words in. Sir, what do you think the state of the party is now going forward?
My fear is that if Republicans, particularly Republican leadership, goes along with this impeachment, they'll destroy the party. And so I think it's a huge mistake. I think it's a hugely partisan exercise on the part of the Democrats. But for Republicans who go along with it, I think they'll destroy our party. Donald Trump isn't everything in the party, but he did bring a lot of people to the party. And I think it's a huge mistake for people to say, oh, well, we're just going to impeach him and that all of the blue collar workers that he brought to our party are going to stay. No, I think quite a few of them will be unhappy. So I hope our leadership will think twice about these undercurrents and rumblings about them actually voting for impeachment. I sure hope it doesn't happen.
Senator, we saw the Clintons enter there. We'll see more in a moment here for others as they arrive. When was the last time you spoke to President Trump?
I spoke to him yesterday, and I think he seemed to be in good spirits and, you know, seemed like the same old President Trump that I've come to know over the last 4 years.
You heard his speech yesterday. What did you think of his closing comments of sorts?
What's incredibly important is that we look at the highlights of what we've done over the last 4 years that he's done with the Republican Senate and for some of those years with the Republican House. Largest tax cut in a long, long time. Lowest unemployment in 50 years for every category that you can look at, men, women, black, white, brown. I mean, amazing accomplishments. And then we had this terrible disaster of this pandemic, but also we had the great speed with which we got a vaccine. And I promise you that wouldn't have happened had Donald Trump not been butting some heads around and bullying people at the FDA to make sure that they did their job. It did it in an expeditious fashion.
The speed was remarkable. On that topic, sir, just one final question. It appears that COVID relief will be the first push forward legislatively in Congress. What would you sign up for on that?
Well, people need to realize there is no money in Washington to give you. There is no rainy day account. There is no savings. We run $1 trillion deficit every year just paying for Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, food stamps, et cetera, national defense. We're $1 trillion short paying for what we normally pay for, so there is no money. We borrowed an extra $3 trillion last year. It is not good economic policy, not good fiscal policy, and it damages the very foundation of the country to keep printing up money and handing it out. It's popular, but it isn't good sense.
Is there no amount of a straight check that you would cut for Americans right now?
We've already passed out $4 trillion we don't have. Unemployment's coming down. What I would do for America is open America. If you give governors like Cuomo money, they'll just keep the economy closed. So you don't want to give them an incentive to keep the economy closed. If you open up our country, we'll prosper like we did about a year ago before all this came.
Senator, thank you for your time. I look forward to more conversations in the new administration. Rand Paul from Kentucky.
Congrats on your new show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Here's my partner.